Hey everyone, I am here with Tyler and this is the Elven Adventures Park. I am going to ask you a few questions. This is a massive build. So first question is, how did you get the inspiration to make this?
About a year ago, I started collecting the elves sets. Thought they were pretty interesting. And I wanted to do something this year that was not static, so some movement. I figured, you know what? I've never seen an elves amusement park, so let's build an elves amusement park.
Nice.
That's what we got.
How long did it take you to make this?
Started about 6 months ago. Been working on it on and off in my spare time.
Oh, that's actually pretty quick for 6
Yeah.
months. Have you been at Brickcan before? Is this
I've been to every Brickcan.
Okay, got it. And your builds are very different from what you have here today?
That's right. Okay. All of my builds in the past have been mashups of Friends and Star Wars ships.
Oh, that's interesting.
Static displays. This is my first animated display.
Oh, okay. So take me through section by section before we powered it on.
Sure, yeah. So on the front there on the right is a typical ride that you would see in, say, the Pacific National Exhibition, where it goes around with the little carousels for people to sit in. It's pretty basic.
Yep.
Well, it's actually the first one that I built for the display. It's also the most reliable one.
Ah.
It's worked consistently with no issues. So
Got
we'll
it.
just start that one up.
Yep.
Do you want to see it?
There you go.
So it literally just goes around in circles. It's got everything spinning on an off-camber axis, so it makes it a little more interesting.
Ah. So this is the first section that you built?
That's right.
Okay, got it. And did you just build the kind of exteriors sections first, or how did you go about deciding what was next?
I actually had some ideas for different kinds of rides and things that I'd like to see in a park.
Yeah.
I started building them sort of in parallel. I don't build one thing at a time and build them all kind of at once. I get interested in one piece and work on that.
Yeah.
And then I get stuck to work on something else and then come back to it.
Got it.
So over the 6 months, they all kind of came together.
Got it.
The idea of the park and sort of the way it's designed with the paths and everything else, mostly last minute stuff.
All right, yeah. So then take us through whatever else you want to go next.
Sure, yeah. So we just go through the park itself. We've got an entryway at the front where public will come in and buy their tickets. Once they have their tickets, they'll come through the gate to the park. There's little paths that will lead them to all the different things. And the first thing they're confronted with is my Elven roller coaster, which is a vertical coaster. Basically, we move the track, not the cars, just to be a little different. And then in going with the elves theme, we have the 4 main characters, as Lego had in the themes when they started out.
Yeah.
So that's there. From there, we can move on to your right.
Yep. And
we have some additional rides here. We've got our Elven. The one in the back here is the, it's like a death dropper. You know, they go up and they drop, and they go down a random amount before they come back up.
Wow.
And there's a carousel at the front where the visitors can get on the little horses and fly around, right? And it starts and stops basically on a timer.
Can you actually talk a little bit about the engineering involved in this tower here?
Yeah, this is the most complicated thing I've ever built. So there's a single motor at the bottom, there's an axle that drives up through the middle, and then along the top there is 6 individual gear components that are identical, each controlling one minifig. So when they get to the top, it releases the spools and allows them to drop down. And when they get down to a certain point, the gears re-engage and they climb back up again.
Wow.
So it's kind of a random
How long did
effect.
it take you to figure that out, that function?
I had this idea in my head last October. I brought a prototype to our local lug meeting in December.
Okay.
I spent the last few months perfecting it and getting it working.
Did you get some input from people at the lug?
I had some ideas about, one of the challenges that I had at that time was I had an idea for how to get them to come up, but I was concerned that when they dropped, they would fall and break.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what I could do, and we came up with the idea of counterweights. So there's a counterweight for each one of the stations, so when it goes down, the counterweight goes up. That slows its fall, so it doesn't break when it gets to the bottom.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was an interesting idea that I got at that time.
Cool. Okay, got it. And then there's so much detail in this. Even down below, there's like little carnival games.
That's right. We got some carnival games. We can buy a hamburger over here if you want and get some drinks.
Some drinks.
Got some dragons. And then we also have this this one here with the aperture that opens and closes.
Yeah.
And there's also, you know, another ride on top and there's the elevator ride that goes up and
This one's
drops
even
you from the
more
top.
terrifying. Does it also use the counterweight? No.
No counterweight. This one is powered by a flywheel. There's a flywheel with a spool on it. So as it climbs, it spools up the thread. When it gets to the top, it releases, and at that point, the weight of the carousel unwinds the wheel, and it gives you that nice sort of bounce effect at the end.
Do most of the builds that you bring to Brickcan have some level of kinetic movement?
This is the first one that I brought to Brickcan that actually has movement. All of my displays in the past have been static.
It's complicated, huh?
It's
to
very
make sure that
complicated.
it's constantly operating.
Yeah.
Have you had to do a lot of fixing already?
I haven't been able to leave it for the whole day. So in between the public exhibitions, I've been tweaking little things to make it work better.
Yeah.
We've had issues with I've got a clutch in this one that I need to replace.
Okay.
It's slipping more than it should.
Yeah.
Over here, there's some gear tolerances that
Yep.
the gears fall apart and then they stop working. So
Got
the
it.
little things you have to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a GBC, requires constant attention.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always standing here,
I'm
which
here.
is why I caught you right now.
Yeah.
So
Want to get it ready for tomorrow.
got it. Got it. And so when you design this, are you using Studio or some software to
No,
design?
not at all. It's strictly what's
Ah.
in my head, and I get out the
Wow.
bricks and start building it.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to end the interview right there. Thank
you.
you so much, Tyler.